Hello, everybody. I would quickly want to ask you if you can hear me. Give me a yes or a no. Obviously, you cannot write no if you don't listen or don't hear me out. Yeah, so Shivam says yes. Shruti says yes. I think all of you are able to hear. Am I loud and clear? Yeah. All right. Today's webinar would be led by Mr. Navneet Kaushal, and he is the CEO of Page Traffic, which is a top-ranked SEO company in India, and he would be speaking on SEO 2020 and beyond. So as you know, SEO keeps on changing, and there are trends that we need to follow every year, every now and then, and pace with all the updates Google is throwing at us. We have to be updated with our knowledge. So we have Navneet with us, who would be speaking to us in a moment. So it's over to you, Navneet. I'll just hand over the mic to you. Just give me a moment. So here's Navneet for you. I can see him. Can others see him as well?
And you guys can see my screen. Yeah, hi. Can everyone see me? Shall I start?
I think there's a little bit of lag somewhere. It's echoing. It's echoing. I think either one of us has some background noise on his PC. So telling you about the format of the presentation, Navneet would be speaking for around 40 minutes, and then I will take the question and answers from you, and Navneet would be the one who would be replying to the question. So all your questions would be dealt at the end. If anybody loses connection, he can log out and then log in again. And in case you don't hear anything, you can just send a chat to me or a question to me, and I'll respond on that. Over to you, Navneet.
Yeah. Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 2020. This is going to be our first webinar about SEO. So as you guys know, we've been doing this for long, and this is an exciting time. We've been right up to the time when I was about to have this webinar presented just a couple of days back. Google did something. We're going to talk about that also, and we're going to talk about how SEO is ever evolving and ever growing. So let's dive right into it. The first thing which we're gonna talk about here is how the SEO is actually, how has SEO changed. So let's look at the 2019, what actually has SEO changed in that sense. We're gonna see what Google's biggest search algorithm has been updates of 2019. There has been quite a few updates. So one of the core update which happened was the Florida 2, which said the Google's biggest update. Google did not target any particular niche or signal for that, but Google said that the results of broad core updates helps it match search queries to web page. So that was something which came in. Then we had a de-indexing bug where a lot of websites were de-indexed because of the Google, and there was a lot of problem with that. So that was another update which was there. Not exactly update, but there was a bug, so it took them 6 days to fix it. And then around 23rd way, there was the fresh content Google was not able to fix, so that happened. Then there was a big, so this was the first big update which came on June 3rd, which was called as a core update, and this update actually shook a lot of the websites. So a lot of websites and site owners felt the heat for this, and there was a big drop across for most of the websites around this time. And then around 6 June, Google came with site diversity update. So this was a site diversity update which you're gonna talk merge into something called as BART update. So this was rolled out to, because so same websites were coming for the same keyword. There are a lot of websites which were coming in top 10. So that's what Google said, that there is not gonna give you much advantage with that. So one keyword, one website, that's what it was supposed to be. So that was the update that happened. And right after that, there was a broad core algorithm update, which happened, of course, several times, but this was not specific, but yes, there were a lot of websites which moved because of that. And the big update which everybody talked was the BERT algorithm update. BERT stands for bidirectional encoder representation from transformers. Quite a word it is. So that was an update which came around that time, and Google said it's going to impact 1 out of 10 queries. So that was an update which happened at that time. So this was another big update which was there, which shocked. And after that, there was a local search algorithm update around November 2019, which actually had a lot of websites fluctuate across different languages. So that was also important update. Then around 9 December, Google published that there was a BERT update, which in October went launched just to the US, is now live across for all of these channels. So these were the updates which happened at that time. Now we're gonna go into the main updates. What was, so let's go into 2020. So with all these updates, which were something, and Google surprisingly still continues to do the updates. So the most important thing which changed in 2019, and which is not an update, was the Google organic search traffic opportunities. So what exactly happened is, in Google's 2019, Google was sending 20% fewer organic clicks via browser than compared to 2016. So if you see, so these were called as zero-click searches. So when we search something, we find some of the results in the top which are actually showing up on the top, and those are the keywords. They are not keywords. So when you type any questions, there are zero-click searches. So Google Right gives you answer on the top. Those are the searches which are called as the zero click. So this is a study done by Rand Fishkin and the company, it's one of his company, Jump Shots. So the Google search and CTR. So if you see these Google click zero in CTR and actually increased by 16% to take the more of the search results. We're gonna go more into it. So what basically meant is the zero click searches, which were not resulting in any of these traffic to our websites, were moved to 50%. So imagine for 50% of the queries, nobody was getting any of these. So this is just a graph which was done by Jump Shot, as I said, and presented by Rand Fishkin last year in Distilled SEO's conference. So this is something which, if you see, 50% of the searches were zero click searches, and 45% were the only which were organic. So you see a large amount of searches which were done but didn't result in any clicks. That's what was the zero click, and that was something which was a problem at that time. So those happened. Now what exactly is a zero click? And if you see, zero clicks refer to a search engine results which answer the query right at the top of the page. So user doesn't have to click any further. So if you see here, you would see in front of your screen, there are zero click, which exactly is what I was talking about. And just below zero click, there is a result, and below that, which is called as a people also ask. This is another search feature. So these are the two features which are there. So the results right now are actually most of the time are either having a zero click or also PAA, as we call it, is a people also search. These are the things which we have. So what are search features? Of course, as I said, what are zero click? So a search feature is any search result or any result on a Google search which is not a traditional organic result. So rich snippets, visual layers, reviews, product, those are the one which are search layers. Search features can be divided into two camps, and these are important for you guys to understand that this is something which is going to be important for you to, these are going to be easy win in 2020. So search features are rich snippets, and of course these are blocks. So if you see, there are SERP features can be divided into two camps. One are rich snippets, things that enrich your existing organic results, and then there are blocks, which boxes of content in SERP. So if I go back and see what are the rich snippets and what are the blocks, so we'll go back. So if you see on the top, those are people ask PAA are the blocks, and zero-click searches are the rich snippets. So these are the two sides of which we have SERP features, rich snippets and blocks. So just a guess, how many SERP features are there? SEMrush says 16, Moz says 16, Roost said Search Matrix says 17, Rank Ranger says 20. So different websites claim there are different sort of SERP features. And believe it or not, there are 39 different types of search features right now available for any one of us to use. That's a huge number. And some of them actually have sub variations. So if you can see, these are sub variations which have Google Flight, Google Paid. So there are some variations: accelerated mobile pages, app downloads, breadcrumbs, knowledge panel, so Google My Business. So there is a whole lot of plethora here out here which you can see here. So as we go forward, now the whole point is, as we just showed this before, that why should I care about SERP features? Because paid, organic, and zero click. Because over 50% of searches results now in no click of this website. So there are 50% of searches which doesn't. So even if a Google shows a volume of 100, and even if you rank at number one and number one gets 30%, I would say only if it shows 100, you can count it to 50, and at 30% of 50 is just going to be a very, very small number. So those are the numbers which are actually, let's say 15, that's the expected click. So you have to understand, even if you optimize for a high volume keyword, and even if you are ranking for that high volume keyword, it's always going to be different. Expecting that, okay, hey, I'm ranking number one, why am I not getting traffic? Because those are the 50% search clicks which are going there. Not zero click, but still no click. For example, Google App, Google Flights, Google Jobs, Google Hotels, and there are a lot of Google click-through platform Google has, which also results in search click zero. Google Flights is paid, Google Hotels is paid, but Google Job is actually a schema. You could use that. So that's something we can do. So how affected are we right now? So if you see SERP features, as I said, 47 pages as SERP features. So on an average, PPC ads take 23%, organic listings take 10% of per pages. We could break them further into these, the rich snippets, as I said. So 16% are rich snippets, and universal search blocks, just like the people also ask, PAA forms around 11%. So that's how, if I go back, so just to repeat, so out of the 100% of the results, 27% of the feature results are the 20% of the organics or the SERP page are the SERP features, and out of those 27, if I break, there are 16% of it is the rich snippets, and universal search block is 11%. So just to give you the opportunity, let's just go into and see how the page breaks up. So if this is how the page you have for any page, 300 pixel is taken by the PPC, 350 pixel is taken by the feature snippets. Organic first result gets 100 pixel. Organic ones, the site links takes 100 pixels. People also take pixels. Also us takes 250 pixels, and organic 2 to 5 takes 400 pixels. So so what I'm actually trying to point out here is, if you see that there is not much left into the search beyond rank number 5. So you see, that's how my page is, that's how people are clicking. So of course it makes sense, all the sense to be on the featured snippet or the organic or the people ask. Below that, even if organic number 2 and 5 is getting less and less clicks. So as you see in this, the most important part is the featured snippet. Let's see how we can get into that. So it's very easy process. We discussed this previously also, and something you can follow it right now. You need to understand the featured snippet can only come for a keyword which you are already ranking in page 1. So if you do not rank for page 1 for the keyword, you cannot get featured snippets. So your first step to find the keyword that you are already ranking for, and then the keywords that already have featured snippet, because as I said, 99.58% of the featured snippets are pages that rank on the first page. So how do you find that featured snippet? Ahref has an organic keyword report. It shows you the keyword that you rank. For that, also have a featured snippets. I'm showing you the screenshot, and that's what I'm saying. So look for a featured snippet that you are already ranking, typically in top 5. Those are the keywords you should be actually can get featured snippets for. So if we go to the this is an ahref, so you see I have used the serve feature here. If my mouse could be seen, so yeah, I said serve feature as featured snippets and position 1 to 10. So these are the keywords for page traffic which we have an opportunity to actually rank in featured snippets. So this is something you could do, which is easier than if I go to the now exactly. So beyond that, how could you do that? So these are the questions. So this was on which all keywords you could implement. Now what all I can implement is what I know. So you could start with a list of common questions: how to implement a no follow, how to implement a no index tag, how to implement a rel alternate tag, how to implement a rel chronicle. So basically are questions which you could forward. Another way includes transcripts, so people with a clear outline steps. The content should just provide a lot more information than just how to. Don't just think it's just going to be a 5-step, 5 question, 5 answers. So those are the things which you could do here. Those are something which we can. And it's easy. Identify a simple question. There are tools like answer the public. That's a very good tool, available for free, but yeah, paid version is definitely something I will recommend. You could identify a simple question, provide a direct answer, offer valued approach, and make it easy for a user to find it. So just to break them, this was something which was done by SEM Raj. So for a paragraph, if you are looking, so these are different types of snippets, featured snippets: paragraph, list, table, images. So you can see on your screen a paragraph. For a paragraph snippet, you need minimum of 44 words, maximum 108. For a list, you need at least 5 items and maximum of 8 items. Each item should have at least 6 words in it in a list, and maximum of 52. In a table, it could be 3.7, which is an average, of course. So this is an image. Of course, the image height is given by pixels, 159 by 231. A maximum 600 and 800 will show in the sub. So those are the one which you could do. How you can incorporate into your strategies: build your content around the questions, optimize for local SEO, and of course, use long tail keywords. So those are something very, very important. And of course, you could use more natural language and conversational tone. For example, answer the what, where, when questions. Add an FAQ schema, FAQ page, phrase that questions the way real people would ask them. And the 4 most common intent behind what these searches would be, and you have to understand, anything which comes in the featured snippet is the one which shows in the voice search as well. So you have to understand, when people are looking for voice search, feature snippet is the first one which gets answered. So those are becomes very, very important as well. Now, keeping all this in mind, as I said in the start of the webinar, so there was something which interestingly happened a couple of days back. In fact, on January 22nd, this Google announced. So previously you would have one page of a featured snippet, and you can expect, because as I said, a featured snippet comes only to the pages who have top 5 rankings. So what was happening is, our top featured snippet, which is an FAQ schema or another one, was getting, which we call as a rank 0, and below that there were 10 results. So if I'm ranking for rank 0, I was already ranking for top 5 for the same keyword. So on January 22nd, Google announced the change in how the feature snippet works. A web page that is showing featured snippet will not show in Google for the second time. So what Google has said, that's Dennis Olvian, which works for the Google, and he said that, so it's no longer gonna be repeated on the result. So that was a huge difference. So what exactly that means? That means now if that result actually is going to result in rank on next page 2. So Google said, so there are now 10 unique listings, but net listings are down by 1. So there are 11 net listings, 10 unique. Now it's 10 net and unique. So it's like there was a featured snippet and there are 10 different results which are there. So this is something which Google had, which changed a lot of things recently. And Google even said, if you are not, because the whole point is you have to understand, a featured snippet has a less CTR. So if I'm ranking for a featured snippet and I was also ranking in top 5 for that keyword, the CTR for that rank organically is higher than the featured snippet, because featured snippet is just something, as we saw, 50% of the people just read the featured snippet, they don't click on the website. That's what is happening. So the interesting thing is, if you think featured snippet is going to decrease your results, you have Danny actually referred that you could actually remove the featured snippets as well. However, there is something which a lot of people these days, in last couple of days on Facebook groups and Twitter, has been saying, That's something, because it's a loss. If I was already ranking on number 2, I suddenly am ranking on page 2 for that keyword, and my half of my clicks are gone. So people are saying then featured snippet doesn't work. But here is something which people are not talking much about. So it says, so because this is what it says, that if the web page listing is elevated into featured snippet, we no longer repeat. So that's what it says. But so Rand Fishkin talked about, can't help but wonder if there will be some cases where SEO is done to remove the featured snippet but maintain the organic ranking, since featured snippets can cannibalize CTR. That's what I said, and that's where Danny said how you can remove it. However, one thing no one has considered on this point is the impact that this decision has on voice search for Google Assistant. Because as I said in the beginning, Google Voice and Google Assistants take your answers from the featured snippet. So if you lose your rankings for featured snippets, your voice searches are going to go down. And now consider the mobile SERP implementation, because of snippets on a small screen, a featured snippet takes almost 30% of the page, and you're gonna lose that real estate. So do you really want to lose that by going down? So if you do, you have an option to add opt out. So it's for your business to decide, is something you want to answer from a voice search. If you think your business is important for a voice search, a lot of people are going to ask. I would say do not remove your featured snippets. If they are not going to ask, then I would say you could change that. So this is about something interesting. There are SEOs right now debating about it out there, and there are a lot of SEOs who are removing it. A lot of companies has benefit because suddenly there are 10 results on the page 1. So there are a lot of pages, a lot of sites which are copying the top. That's also has happened. And it's just been 2 days, so let's see how it pans out. But this is, I've just given you your options. If you want featured snippets, if your voice search is important, featured snippets are important. If you don't think voice search is important, you can get rid of the featured snippets. Now, moving into something entity. So this is another popular thing. We think entity popularity and entity engagement might look like a geek science to you, but I will explain it shortly, is the key to the local SEO. So the biggest change in local SEO of the recent years has definitely been the Google local pack. So, and the way that affects user. If a user used to be that if you were trying to rank something for home furniture, your e-commerce page used to rank high. But today's situation is different. Google is able to process those keywords based on a local intent, and that's where you find a lot of local keywords. So, and on top of that, Google in 2019 got a patent for entity-based search, which they actually submitted in 2016. So let's see what exactly is that. So what are those entities? So just I'll brief. I will simplify it for you as well. So a thing or a concept that is singular, unique, well-defined, and distinguishable. For example, an entity may be a person, place, item, idea, abstract, concept, concrete element, other suitable things. So it could be anything which, so just to give you an example, if there is a George Washington, the president, and the George Washington University, as a person, George Washington is an entity closely connected to one cluster of topic words, and as a university, totally different. So Googling, so when you Google Washington, George Washington birth, you'll give his birth date, but when you're gonna search Google George Washington tuition, it's gonna give you a university fees. So these are the difference, so which you have to understand or optimize. So entity-based search means you have to incorporate those keywords, and we're gonna talk a little bit. And the authority of the business is decided on the basis of entity popularity, and that there is something called entity engagement. A study by Tidings has stated that engagement will be most important factor for local SEO. So if people are coming to your page, they are engaging, that's what they're gonna get. So 2017, this is what the traditional SEO engagement local data distribution was. 2020, we think engagement is going to be one of the major factors for getting yourself ranked in the local SEO. So the question is, how do we start implementing entity associations? Well, your service themselves are an entity, of course, but that's handled by your seed keywords or a keyword that you are looking to rank for. For example, in the local search, the entity you need to base your efforts are mostly geographic. So putting in keywords like near landmark or adding direction from certain well-known places to your own business could be important. So that's where you could do a little bit of map stacks, where you could say, okay, for example, this is how far our office is from Qutub Minar, or this is how far my office is from Gateway of India, or India Gate. Those are the things which you could do there. And entity engagements will be determined by signals on the web. So such as, do people love your business? How many positive reviews does you have business on Google My Business? Remember, it's the positive reviews which you're talking about. Are there enough positive recommendations for your business on other review websites? How many people have saved your business as a contacts? How many people ask for locations for your business? All these are great signals which impact the local business popularity. So optimizing your GMB, which stands for Google My Businesses, and keeping your NAP accurate. Also try to generate as many as local brand mention. So local brand mention doesn't mean you need to have those link back to you. It's just that, for example, if we are a company called Page Traffic, a lot of people talk about the SEO and page traffic without linking back to us. That's where that acts as a signal. So it doesn't need to link back to us. It's something which could be coming back to us. So those are something you need to get more and more without even thinking that, hey, I need more links out of it. So those are important for us. Just to go forward into it and just a continuative is the next important trend which we believe is going to be search intent. Now, what exactly is a search intent? It's just something like what we read about the entities, but let's just break it down into pieces and see what exactly. So a usual Google, let's see how a usual Google search looks like this. So user thinks of what they want. So Google looks at the user thinks of what they want to find, search intent. That's how you are typing. User type search queries in Google. That's how search query begin. User digs through the options suggested by Google, and user finds what they need. The search ends. Now let's assume user doesn't find what they need. They decide to try a different search query. They go back to step 2. User doesn't find what they need. They give up. So that's Google just don't want people to give up, and Google just want to serve results which give them results, serve results which quickly resolves user's query. So it becomes important. How do I work for a user intent or search intent? So keywords intents are more important than ever. So there are 3 sort of keywords which we work on. One is called informational, another is transactional, and another is navigational. So these are the so the things are, for example, informational. When you are looking for information, that's majorly right now whether the voice search gets triggered, and so you are looking for weather in Spain, how to make post X. Those are the informational keyword. Transactionals, when you are trying to buy something, you are looking for cheap Xbox, young driver insurance, you're looking for a cheap hotel near me. Those are the transactions which tends to symbolize conversions. Navigational says when you are looking to locate a specific page or branded, so they mostly are with the brand keywords in it. So these are the 3 types. Just further go it. So when I'm doing an SEO, I need to specify my pages. What is my page search intent? So is my page transactional? Is my page informational? Is it going to be navigational? And then you need to see, as I said before, the pages engagement matrix is going to be important. So how much time is spent on the pages becomes important. Pages per session, bounce rate. So those are very, very important. You need to see, and as I said, you could try to get into position 0. So let's go into further into it. Every keyword has an intent. You don't just type a keyword. So keyword, as I said, it could be either informational, transactional, or navigational. So maybe it's to look something up or buy something. Maybe I'm trying to compare a product A to B, and so the whole point is how closely your page content matches to the intent of the keyword. That's gonna be the background. So your first step is to figure out your target search keyword intent. Sometimes the intent is right in the keyword. So if somebody's typing buy, so you know that's a transactional keyword. Somebody's typing how, you know that's a informational keyword. So those are the something we could do, but it's not usually. Sometimes it's not obvious. For example, let's take a keyword like protein powder. Now it's very difficult. How do I know? Sometimes search could be, maybe people are looking to buy protein powder. Maybe they are looking to have more information about protein powder. So those are the sometimes we have to. So you have to understand what kind of intent is you have, and the important thing is create a content that's a one-to-one search intent. So it's important that if people are looking for information, you go into the SERP and see what kind of results are coming for protein powder. If most of the results are coming informative, so I'm not expecting my transactional page to rank for that keyword, because Google is actually treating that as a informational keyword. So what becomes important for me to build a content which actually matches the intent. So this intent along with the keywords is very, very important. So what we're gonna do is, so So you have to match the search intent and give user what exactly they are looking for. Just an example, if you are looking for an how to guide and you go into the top 10 results and you say most of the pages are lists, so they are listing that list. So if you want to make an article on it which doesn't have a list in it, so it's not going to help. So you need to little bit see what kind of a search are coming for each keyword, and this is very, very important. So that's how it was most about these search intents. Now let's move on to the next very, very important is influencers will improve your site engagement metrics. This we feel is important, very important, which Google says that this is not something which is gonna be doing something on that. I'm gonna turn off the webcam. It says a little slow, but I'm right here. Yeah. So influencers will improve your site engagement. So engagement metrics quantifies the effectiveness of your content. Although Google has not stated that the search engine measures engagement metrics, but it's important. We have seen, because as we did, you guys attended the last year webinar, we talked about the rank brain, which exactly is talking about this, which exactly is bounce rates, refer to the percent of visitors who visit your website and leave without visiting any other page, dwell time, how much people take time to click on a search result, time on page, return visits, and the click to call, which becomes important, number of clicks to call requests that are made, comments, number of comments that you leave on your page, that becomes important, and social shares. So these are something which are engagement metrics which needs to be good on your page. So basically what I'm trying to say is, if your website have good number of likes, tweets, social shares, and there are a lot of people ranks on it, or a lot of people go to that page and the bounce rate is low, that's also going to give you better rankings. So that's just how the influencing will improve your site engagements and also the rankings. Now going on to something which is another thing which we've been talking for years is voice search. And I just want to share some more stats with you. I've been doing voice search for long, and we've been doing a lot of presentations about search. We do a lot of voice search in our company these days. So look at the predictions. 50% of the all searches will be voice search by 2020. So that's the, according to ComSource, in 2016, half of all searches will be half of all searches. That's what they said in 2020. About 30% of the searches will be done without a screen. So that's what is important. That's something. Now look at this. So in 2018, there were 10% of the searches which were going for voice. 2020, we expect 50%. Just to give you an idea. So as we know, 50% of the searches occurs on the Google are mobile searches. Out of those 50%, there are gonna be 50% of those searches we are expecting, because most of the most of these voice searches either happens on a voice devices or on the mobile. So we are expecting that. We don't expect most of the desktop searches to move to mobile right now. So looking at these biggest stats, how can I optimize myself for voice? So let's see. So voice searches is the new content strategy. Content and keyword. Content structure is different. More for a voice search, a lot of the time we are not just asking one or the two things, we are asking more than 5 words. So use word and string that people say when they are asking real questions. Just to define it more, these are topic, keywords, and phrases. So the keyword should answer the question you are trying to optimize for. The phrases should be in the first paragraph of your landing page, preferably in the first sentence. Look for keywords that involve a question and write content that answer those questions. So, and this is something you would also know, but here is something very, very important with you, which guys just find. More than 20% of the voice search queries are triggered by a combination of these 25 keywords. So if you see how, so this is an important screen for you guys. If you are looking to optimize for voice, these are the combinations of keyword you should have. As I go back into the first paragraph of your page, landing page, into the first sentence, that's how it should be starting. How, what, best. If I just take these three, they almost compare all of those 20%. These becomes all 15% of all. So you could have how, what, best. So these are the trigger words which helps in the voice search. So of course the voice search is a topic which is huge in itself, but just to give you a brief, this is how you can optimize for voice search. And I would recommend you to try for these, and these voice search, actually it's good to be there right now. looking at the amount of searches it's going to generate. Now let's go into the other important thing, which is BERT. We spoke about it, and EAT. I spoke a lot about EAT, and I'm gonna recap what is EAP is, and that's the goal of updates them. So engagement, authority, and trustworthiness. That's something which Google sees. So this is last year, 2018, Google released this algorithm, broad goal algorithm, which is something Google talks about. And then on July 20th, they launched a Google Quality Rater Guidelines, which talks about most of these. So these topics were same. However, one thing changed, which was expertise, authoritative, and trustworthiness, which actually is something which Google changed in 2018. With BERT, we believe it to become more and more important about that. So that's something which Google is talking about. And so it says so this is a quality rater guideline. Google have their quality rater across the world where they rate each website based on these guidelines. So that's their job, but we believe that as an SEO that's something Google want users, their search algorithm also to behave like. So the reputation of the website or the content of the main expect most websites to have some information about who. So is responsible individual company for the website. So this means you need to have a about us page. You need to have an easy find contact page. You need to have reference and external link to sources. You need to have privacy terms, policy, terms of services. So no longer you as the business can say, hey, I'm not going to link to anyone. A web page which doesn't link out or a website looks unnatural. There are not many websites, so it's important you link out to other websites. I'm not saying link out to the competitors. What I'm saying is link out to different websites which are similarly an authority websites to you. So for example, if we are talking about fashion, we could talk about the Cosmopolitan. We could link to Cosmopolitan article. If we are talking about furniture, we could talk about any WHO study done on the furnitures or maybe the woods. So those are the authoritative sites and references you could have. I'm not saying these references could be spread all across your website, but yes, this is important. And that again, repeating, it should be having about us page, easy to find contact us page, privacy policy, terms of services. Every page should have it. So that was content that focused on EAT will be rewarded by Google. With the launch of recent BERT update, Google is getting better and better at understanding the relationship between the words. BERT, as I mentioned before, stands for bidirectional encoded representation from transformers, and it is an update to find the core search algorithm. So this means that the great content that focus on EAT, for example, expertise page needs to have a quality content. You cannot just So we have a lot of clients who comes to us and they don't rank, but at the end of the day, it's morely because of the poor content. So that's something is important. You need to have a content which is not just written via some elementary high school English guy, but the content quality has to be good. The authority, the site itself need to have some authority on the subject. Authority can be how can we get authority? So of course, how can we get expertise? Expertise is when you write about quality content. How can we get authority? The authority site itself need to have some authority. So the authority can be simply done by getting more links back to you. Trustworthiness, of course, as I said, the authority and trustworthiness comes how the links are pointing to you. Going it further, out of the context, search results will be removed by Google. So as I said, you need to match the search intent. If you see most of these presentations, even if I'm doing it in bits and pieces, you see they all combine. So if I talked about search entities, come back to the EAT and we say, you need to have a content which actually serves Google search result. Your content should be original and provide detailed information, even if it's brief. And value, your content should have value. It should have instructions, should serve a clear purpose. Every page of a web page, well written. As I said, it's important not to have somebody write elementary English. It should be well edited. All content on your site should be free of typos, misspelled. If your site have a lot of misspelled, typos, misused word, punctuation error, don't expect your site to rank better. So it means you need to hire a good editor, proofreader for your content. You could use tools like Grammarly, that's available for free, and a good user experience. So the key to excellent content is providing good user experience. the site visitor should not be assaulted, should not have excessive pop-ups, ads on the first page. That's going to kill it. And schema markups, of course. You could visit schema.org and use a lot of those markups as well. And that's something. Videos. Of course, as we spoke about video last year, videos continue to surge, and as you see, there is a video schema as well. You could have video snippets in the results as well. Due to the lack of time, I'm not going to go too much deep into it, but just to summarize, organize your content into discrete sections. Clear sections help Google understand that content in your video. Optimize your video for SEO, and provide a transcript to increase the audience, to increase the chances. It's very, very important to understand that the transcript which Google provides automatically is not something you have, it's not always 100% accurate. So you need to have a transcript which is actually the transcript which has to be done by human beings. So grow your YouTube channel, and that's also very, very important. The YouTube channel is also important for you to grow on. So something which you could say, and when you are writing a post, it's important for you to embed on it, because it's important that signals needs to go. So signals needs to go to the search that yes, this is how it's working. So just to repeat, you need to have your content, optimize your video for SEO. Video for SEO is just like a normal page SEO. You need to have a title, description, tags to figure out what video is about. Provide a transcript. Don't just rely on the transcript of YouTube. It's important you have a transcript of your own, and you could get it for $1 minute. So these are easy, some free services available. Grow your YouTube channel, and of course embed video. Last but not the least, backlinks are still the key. So no matter what, Google is based on the backlinks. As I continue saying every day to my team, backlinks forms the backbone of the search results or rankings or the SEO. In fact, Google recently came out and said that links still play a key role in their algorithm. So for example, if other prominent website links to the page, this is what Google, I'm quoting from Google, what is known as page rank, that has proven to be a good sign that the information is well trusted. And there was a study done by Proficient Digital, which actually talks about that, yes, if you see the importance of Google backlinks in Google has not decreased. And once you have handled that, optimize, it's time to optimize your site. So just to see how the shift in ranking signals happen. In 2014, it was more about inbound anchor text, which moved still in. Link quality is still, brand authority is still there, user signals, keyword matching wins there, intent. So if you see the shift in ranking, this is just how number of priorities. So in 2014, if the anchor text was important, in 2019, the intent matching became important. The quantity was important in 2014, and 2019, the brand authority became important. Just like the link quantity became a third number, yes, it's important. User signal still remains same. Comprehensive content. So if you see how the shift has happened, that's something important for us to understand. And just to summarize, the key takeaway: the search landscape is changing constantly. Make sure you are not wasting efforts on zero-click searches. So it's not something you need to be thinking about all the time. And know your verticals and specific niche and threats. Test the effect of winning the Shipey new search feature. As I said, there are a lot of features which you could find in search, which you could do that. So those are some things which we could be looking into it. So with that, I would end my, I know it's a very short session, which I'm going to end now, and something which we are now going to be opening for the Q&A, and I'm going to hand it back to Mir. Yeah, Mir.
Thank you, Navneet. It was in-depth, it was exciting, it was fast. So we loved it, and we'll give you a breather. In the meanwhile, I'll launch a poll for everybody of you to participate in, and these things help us in, bettering our content, bettering our services, bettering our webinars that we conduct. So if you can take this poll, that'd be very good. And meanwhile, anybody who has any kind of a question can put that on the questions panel, and I will be reading them one by one. And we have Navneet with us, who would be answering as many as he can in the next 15 minutes. So I'm waiting for others to participate in the poll. We only have 61% of you who voted till now. So I'll give you 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So that's it. We'll now go to the question and answer session. And I'll be reading out the questions for Navneet. So Om Prakash has a question. He says that nowadays a lot of sites are posting content in Hindi, and if that is so, should the URL also be in Hindi, or it doesn't matter, or should it be in English?
You could choose either way. I would still recommend the URLs to be in Hindi. Yes, that would actually matter. Yes.
Rashmi has a question. She's saying, is there any way we can get to know about voice searches coming to our site?
The voice search? Yeah, there are certain tools. There is no Google Search Console. It still doesn't tell you. It's mainly, there is no specific tool I could think of right now. But if I have one in mind, I think there are a couple of tools which talks about voice search. Rank Ranger is one which talks about voice search. So you could explore that, which gives you a written idea. But as I said, none of them would be right now very accurate.
Is there any research from where we can get to know in details about how to use Search Console of Google?
Google has recently launched their Search Console video and guide, so you could Google that. That's something which is just a few days back Google has launched in their Google University, so you could explore that.
Great. And Pooja has a question. Are there any SEO tips for B2B technical website content?
I won't have any specific tips. Of course, the B2B is a little tough segment, but the most point is B2B has a good opportunity to write how to guides. So those are something which you can explore. As I spoke about, Answer the Public is a very good platform you could explore. That's something you can go and check.
Right. Gangotri has a question. What are the strategies that you would recommend for backlinks?
What are the
strategies that you would recommend to create backlinks?
I would say a long-term strategy. If you are a new website, you need some basic links to come from a little bit of brands and other pages. But if you are looking for, if you are established site, the outreach using different methods of outreach is something you could do. A manual outreach is the best way to get more backlinks.
Mm-hmm. And do you still believe that PR, links from PRs help in SEO?
Yes, PR, as I would say, it's not PageRank. We're talking about just the press releases. Yes, good press releases good earned press releases still moves the needle for rankings, and we do a lot of these press releases. So, but they have to be a premium press release. You can't just expect to have a free press releases do something good for you. But again, it's important just not use to your money keywords in that. Just use the brand keywords and get more signals towards your website. That's gonna
help. What is the Kunal has a question with regards to affiliate marketing. What is the best way to take an AdSense approval? I think it's off the topic a bit, but if you can help.
I really won't be able to have much knowledge about the AdSense. We don't. I mean, we have an AdSense approval, so I don't know if that becomes a complicated thing recently, but not much beyond. I would have an idea. Sorry.
All right. Gangotri again is talking about links. Are directory submissions still valid? For a new website, obviously.
Yes, they are valid, but again, if you are looking for a directories which are just meant for submissions, no. Directory is basically a local directory like just in Indian context, Sulekha, Just Dial, those are the sites where you could get listings. But if these are sites which are like free directory or a $1 directory, that's not good.
Mm-hmm. So do buying links work? Would you recommend that or not?
Which links?
Buying links. Should we buy links or should we not? Paid links, as they are called.
It's a kind of controversial topic. Paid link is not something I would say. I can't go on record and say yes or no, but I would say if a guy is asking you money to publish your post on their website, maybe you can think if they are not outrightly asking it on their web page, okay, I'm selling you link for $20, then it's okay. But if the guys if the website has published their pricing on the page, okay, they are openly selling links, I won't recommend.
Yeah, true. So Jonathan has a question. What are the best booming strategies of SEO in the current time?
booming strategy. That's some funny word. The best booming strategy is going to stick to the basics. So the basic is build a website not for the search engines but for the users, and do the basics right. Try to have a good content on your web page. Try to get more earn links, more press release mentioned. That's something I would say is important. But just to answer it, what exactly is booming is going to be the entity-based search, and that's something which we think is going to be important in 2020.
Gaurav has a question. He says, which tool would you recommend for an SEO audit?
Which tool I would recommend? There are various tools, but I honestly, we haven't come across any one tool doing it all. So just to recap, SEMrush has their audit, Ahref has their audit, Moz has it, but we haven't come across. So most of the tool I would say is your manual audit is the most important. And next week we are about to publish an how to do an SEO audit for a website on pagetraffic.com blog. So do look out for that, which combines these all tools, and we will give you a Google Doc, Google spreadsheet you can download and use that. That's something which is going to go very comprehensive. So maybe by next weekend we're gonna come on the pagetraffic.com/blog.
That's great. That's something that we'll look out to. And so, would you recommend Screaming Frog or not?
Yes.
And what are the what would you say about the reports given in by HS, SEMrush, and Screaming Frog? Would they typically be the same, or would they differ a lot with meaningful insights?
Let's say so. These three tools provides reports, but let's look at one by one all of the tools. So the Ahref is mainly a link tool which now gives you the details about the pages as well. Not an efficient one. SEMrush is a good tool which started with how you can find organic rankings and everything. However, the Screaming Frog is mainly for technical SEO, to find out technical issues with your website. So those are something which Screaming Frog we highly recommend. So it's not, as I said, if you're looking to find technical issues with your website, Screaming Frog would be number one, and then you can look how Ahrefs and SEMrush are doing. But for us, Screaming Frog is the way to go for technical SEO issues.
Great. Right. What's this? Canon tools for link generation. Do you suggest code Canon tools for link generation?
Code Canon sells code, so I wouldn't say. As I said, anything which looks little without you doing a mass link building or without efforts, those are not something Google is going to report.
And Om Prakash again has a question with regards to his Hindi website. He's saying, should they use English synonyms while they are optimizing it for the search engines?
No, not exactly. Just think Hindi as just one language, as one entity, not something to associate with synonyms.
So Rajesh is asking, he's created a new website for his blogs, and what should he focus on to build to get ahead of the competition? Are there any tools that they can help him?
See, I would say, of course, best is to have good content on your web page, have a blog, try to have at least 2,000 words posts done every month, good post, just not, as I said, a really good post. Try to earn links, try to have infographics on your website, which you could actually share with other people in the community. Those are the things which you could do to get more backlinks and more popularity. Try to submit those websites and infographics in infographic websites. Try to do few PRs, which could be premium press releases. Those are the things which are actually going to help.
So Sushil has a question. He's asking if there's a way to identify universal keywords.
Again, as I said, you could try Ubersuggest, which is recent tool you could look, but or you could try Answer the Public, which would give you most of these.
Does Web 2.0 still work?
If your website is new, starting out, to give positive brand signals, yes, but not in massive number. Or maybe a tier 2, when you have built a link of a page, you can send 2.0 links to that page.
So there are a lot of questions with regards to links. I'll take one of them, and then we'll launch a poll, and then we'll take the final one. So do profile backlinks still provide any boost in ranking?
Profile backlinks provides boost, not exactly in ranking, but sending a signal that your website is actually a brand. So to make yourself a brand, it becomes important to have Web 2.0 and profile backlinks. But that's the basic structure on which you build the next level of links. So if you are a new website, they will help, but they are not something a ranking signal. They are a brand signal, which again is very important for the SEO.
So I'm launching a quick poll so that you can tell us about your experience with the webinar. While you are, giving out your responses, we'll quickly go through a couple of questions. Is it a good idea to have a FAQ sections on our website? Does it help to rank our keyword?
Yeah, FAQ ranks in the rank 0. So FAQs are something which people also ask. PAA. If you are ranking in top 5, you have an FAQ, you have a very good chance to have a PAA or a people also ask section.
Mm-hmm. And what is the best tool for plagiarism?
Copyscape for external and for internal Siteliner. Siteliner for internal search, Siteliner, otherwise Copyscape.
So I think these are the questions that we would want to take, and closing the poll, and we really thank Navneet to be who spend an hour with us, spend some time preparing the slides, and was of constant help to us. So thank you, Navneet. It was a pleasure hosting you, and we thank all of the attendees who attended our webinar and made this a success. So look forward for more webinars coming in from Digital Vidya's side, and look forward towards the guide that Page Traffic is about to bring out.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you. Signing off. Okay. Bye.
Bye.